But for Robin specifically, people come up to me all the time because of the I want to live moment and tell me that they decided to live, right? Because of that moment. And the first time I heard it, tears are happening, but it is an ongoing theme. So just to have a character, and there's multiple characters in this show that are overcomers, And there are many that are inspirational, that it just blows me away. And I'm thankful that I get to voice a character that is she's just awesome.
All right, so to officially start this panel, I want to welcome everybody to the One Piece panel with our beautiful cast of people here. I'm going to start off with a little tiny icebreaker, just to be able to start things off, and then I'm going to have people line up to be able to ask questions for our lovely guests. So for our icebreaker, you guys can go down the line if you want to. So how much has being in this show and voicing your characters impacted you as actors and allowed you to grow?
That's the icebreaker?
Yeah. I thought of that. We start with Jonah.
Sure. I'm a weeb. I love One Piece, and I have since I was a kid. Me and my cousins used to watch it all the time, just like Saturday morning cartoons kind of thing. We would try and keep up with it as much as we could, and getting the honor of being a shonen anime villain is something else. I used to do like voices on the playground and backstage when we were doing like high school plays, and even into college. I did this thing where I would do a shonen villain voice, and we would call in, and I would answer the phone, and they would just talk to a shonen villain for like 5 minutes, and that was our little warm up. So that's the voice that I use. It's wild that I got to play and also play and have fun. So this has definitely affected my life in a positive in many different ways. So it's hard. Like, what if you guys came up here and it was like, oh yeah, I voiced this character. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm a huge fan. So getting to be up here with these fantastic people that I've looked up to my entire life, is surreal. So thanks for having me, guys.
Hello. There we go. I love pirates, and I love friendship, and I love feelings, and the fact that, so often we do a show and it's like, it's one done, one season, maybe two, that's it, it's gone, it comes back. Like, just the fact that it's there, and it's a constant, and that's so, like, unique, and special, and gratifying on a personal level. So, I feel like it's been really good for me, and I hope that me being in it has been good for other people, too. I didn't work that right, but that's how I feel.
How exciting is it to have Franky with us? Yes. I was joking with Patrick, like, if I had a $1 for every time someone came with their beautiful boat and said, "You're my last one," except for Franky. And now you can. There's just this beautiful full circle thing happening. So we're so glad to see you again. We missed you, and this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right, that's how I felt when I woke up this morning. I'm Stephanie Young, the voice of Nico Robin. And, oh man, I thank Mike McFarland pretty regularly because amazing director, and this show has changed my life. I've voiced a lot of characters, but Robin is very special. I love her. I respect her. I want to be like her someday on the back half, right? But the main thing that has really just been overwhelming, other than the friendships that have developed when we get to go to conventions like this and be with each other, we all really truly like each other. It's real. I think we're so honored to get to work together for this long period of time with our friends. But for Robin specifically, people come up to me all the time because of the I want to live moment and tell me that they decided to live, right? Because of that moment. And the first time I heard it, tears are happening, but it is an ongoing theme. So just to have a character, and there's multiple characters in this show that are overcomers, And there are many that are inspirational, that it just blows me away. And I'm thankful that I get to voice a character that is she's just awesome. So thank you, Director Mike McFarland.
I didn't know people came up to you and said that. I didn't know people came up and said that to you.
And I tell them our story. We have been con together. No, we have been con together a long time, and we did it in one take. And I remember looking at you after it, and you set your after that success. Super long pre-roll. Last one recorded. Knew it was an important moment, and I looked at you, and he was tearing up, and I started crying. It resonates, and it's everywhere.
Aw.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we don't get there without people like this. We just don't emotionally.
I also, I think I explained to you how important it was when we were tracking it so that you wouldn't have to do it one time. I was like, I want you to blast this from the bottom of your being. Oh, goodness. I'm lost in the question. What was the question now?
Well, how has playing your role as Buggy impacted your life as an actor, and that allowed you to grow?
Let's see. My life is Buggy. I wish I could fall upwards like that dude at all times. I wish I could fail upwards at a level of Buggy rate. I would be emperor of the world right now.
You'd have the One Piece.
I would have 9 pieces. I would have 1 pieces from multiple universes. It's really cool. It's not often you get to be with a show for this length of time. And I'm not a straw hat by any means who get to hang out a lot more regularly than Buggy does. But it's neat to actually see character growth and journeys and all these sorts of stuff, and not over like One Piece and One Piece Shippuden and One Piece Brotherhood, but like just One Piece, like it's one show that hasn't stopped yet. So I am fascinated with that. As far as growing as an actor, I think it's really cool and extremely rare to get an opportunity to embody the character of any character for like 20 plus years, whatever. Like, we started this thing in 2007, and we were not the first crew. We were coming there to continue the show on, and also to start the show over at the same time. So however many years that is, that's at least 15. I don't do math. 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 17 years. Yeah, 17 is right. So what a gift to get to do something, a lot of the times we work on something that's 3 months, or it might come back for 3 months, 2 years later, or something like that. And this has been like, it only stops when someone makes us stop. And so that is a rare, rare, rare gift, and I'm so very grateful for it. And I think my growth as an actor and as a person, it's embodied with a point where I can't just talk about it on a panel. It's so much of me now. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you all so much.
Hi, I'm Christina Kelly. I'm the voice of Ulti from One Piece. I feel so grateful to be a part of the show. I'd always wanted to be in One Piece. Playing Ulti was really cool. I never get cast as villains. I usually only get cast as like the very like cutesy or sassy roles. So getting to be a villain who has like 3 different forms. She turns into, I can't pronounce it, a pachycephalosaurus. I don't know, she turns into like a dinosaur. It's really cool. I feel eternally grateful. And the fandom is amazing. And I've met a lot of new fans, because some of y'all are just like, I love One Piece. Like, that's like my favorite thing. And I feel very lucky to meet you guys and be part of this amazing show. So, yeah.
We're hogging all the mics on this end, sorry. Hi, I'm J. Michael Tatum, and I play Eneru, or Enel, in One Piece. I'm also Dalton in Drum Island Arc, and who remembers Pearl? Also me. I love One Piece. It'll always have a special place in my heart because Eneru was the first role I landed after making the plunge into voice acting full time. I've been doing it as a side gig for about 4 years. And everyone was like, and so I came in like evenings and weekends, you know, I'm like, just the baby voice acting. And then, then the auditions came down the wire, right? And I was real nervous because that was a big thing. I was leaving a full-time like adult job with like insurance and a 401k. And I was like, and they're like, well, welcome to acting, you have none of that now. And I was like, wee! And so the first couple of weeks I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this for like a month, and if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna, I don't know, go back to whatever. And then I got Eneru, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be all right. It was fun. It was also great fun to work with Mike, because we've been dear friends for years, and that show kind of started our friendship in some way. We worked together before then, but that was, Mike loves to like make me, at the time, he loved to make me do that voice when we're like ordering at drive-thrus or something. He'd be like, do the Eneru voice when you order lunch. And it's funny, because 20 years ago, that voice used to be hard to do, and now it's just where it sits, because I'm old. So when he comes back one day, 20 years from now, he's gonna be deeper. But yeah, I love what, it's so freaking cool. And like everyone said, it's so neat to be involved. It's very rare we get to be involved in something that has that kind of shelf life. And is still going strong. It's still, gaining fans, keeping fans. It's just so cool. It's like a once in a million years chance for all of us. And I'm eternally grateful to be part of it. Also, I love playing just complete assholes. And Eneru is like the biggest asshole of the show. It's so much fun.
I want to interrupt you right there. We actually have Sean Heddington right here.
As long as being late, why don't you go ahead and tell the room who you play real quick?
I do the voice of Goldie, Roger, and Ben.
See, he's the one that tells you all about the world's favorite power.
I'm Sonny Strait. I am the voice of Usopp. I also play a completely unrelated character in the Sniper King called Soga King. And I have to go back to Mike as well, because Stephanie and I were talking about it before we came in here. We've had a lot of great directors, but Mike was the best. I mean, he set the tone and the direction that the show went in for the next 17 years. And I had a scene where Usopp had to cry, and Mike got me there. He would not settle for anything less than me freaking crying in the booth. So I thank you for that, and it was the most powerful moment, I think, of my acting career. I appreciate it.
Yeah!
For all Sonnies.
Hey, Jason Douglas. I play Aokiji Kazan, the Ice General, and thank you. Yeah, it's interesting and surreal being on a stage like this and thinking that I started voice acting when I was 7 years old without realizing that that's what I was doing, because my grandmother gifted me, for some reason, it seems really weird now in retrospect, but she gave me one of these like Radio Shack tape recorders that used to be used for like dictation and stuff, and you had to stick a cassette in it. And so what did we do? Me and my friends, we made these like radio dramas. We would just make stuff up and we would record it and play it back, and that was kind of my earliest foray, and I certainly didn't realize then that it would ever become anything like a career. And now I'm looking back on the career that I've had, and there have been a lot of titles, obviously, that I've been a part of, but there are a handful of really special shows that I just feel like it's such an honor to even be a supporting character in, and One Piece is obviously one of them. I meet fans every time I do a show who are like One Piece lifers. They've grown up with the show, they're still watching the show, and it's kind of humbling to be sitting there and hear them tell their story as fans about what the show has meant to them. So I try to do my part in helping to tell that story, but yeah, I'm really, really grateful for these kinds of projects to be a part of. So.
Yeah, give it a round of applause. now with the icebreaker, kind of not icebreaker, but with the icebreaker done, I'm gonna have you guys line up to be able to ask questions for again, our wonderful guest right here. Just keep it to one question, baby, because I think we have like 45 minutes on the panel, but check if that mic works, because we have like mic difficulties.
Testing?
Yeah!
Woohoo! Hi guys, this question's kind of goofy, but if you could indulge me, I would appreciate it. If your character pulls into like a Taco Bell at like 3 a.m., what do you think they're gonna order? If you want to try and like pretend that you're talking as the character in the drive-thru, you can. Not required though.
Hi, my name is Katakuri.
Hello, do you guys still do the cinnamon twist? I'll take 8. Maybe a few more. Just throw them back. Yeah, just cinnamon twists. No, I don't need a combo. No crunch wrap either. That's actually just give me a crunch wrap too. Sure.
Here you go. Cinnamon twists.
Yeah, I was wondering if you have anything back there that'll give me diarrhea. I'll take it all. Thank you.
Listen, I will take 2 of everything on the menu, a bucket of your spiciest sauce, and the car behind me is going to pay for it.
I would like a number 6 with cinnamon sticks. Would you like to supersize? Yeah. No, thank you.
Okay, I've never had Taco Bell, so I don't know what to say. Does that count as an answer?
I don't know of your Taco Bell.
I'm sorry.
I don't want the nacho fries, I just want the cheese. Like, fill a cup full of the cheese that goes with the nacho fries.
Navigator, sorry. I don't want to cut off that, yeah. That's good stuff. Navigator, hand over all those tacos. Hand.
You want my burrito? You can't have it.
Give a round of applause, everybody.
Hello, it's nice to meet you all. My name is Dana. Fun fact, the person before it is my best friend. She was the one that got me into One Piece. She's the reason I've started it recently. So my question is, if you could hang out at any of the cities that they visited in One Piece, what city would you want to hang out in?
We could go anywhere in One Piece land, where would it be?
Yes, where would you like to hang out?
I will answer, like, given that all of the problems are behind them, I think Dressrosa is beautiful, and I would like to visit Dressrosa.
Anybody else?
Did you say Dressrosa too?
I quite like Dressrosa.
I think it would be fun to hang out in Skypea.
Wano for sure.
Yeah, okay. Oh, all right. So,
That was easy.
oh, yeah, easy question. All righty, next one.
Security, get that camera from him.
I got you, don't worry.
Hello, my name is Tristan, and I'm a big One Piece fan, as you can tell. So I just wanted to know, have any of y'all seen the 4Kids dub of One Piece, and what are y'all's thoughts on it?
I've seen clips of it, little bits of it here and there, and it happened, it occurred, and it was out there, and that was the first English dub of One Piece.
I do believe it exists.
I think a lot of the performances on there are great. I think a lot of the actors that are on that dub are great.
What if I told you that one of those actors is actually here?
I mean,
Where? In this room?
I probably know
No,
them.
he's down in the dealer room. I thought he would be here, but it's Jason Griffith and he played Usopp.
Cool. Oh, I have not seen his Usopp. I need to check it out.
Yeah.
3 Usopps in the building. Okay. Thank you so much for your question.
I might be the one who have seen the most because I had to, get the show going.
Hey, I wanted to ask, a lot of voice actors don't necessarily read ahead in the manga, but for those of you that have read the One Piece manga, how has reading ahead or reading it influenced your role or how you've acted?
I don't read ahead. However, before I knew about Robin's backstory, there are a few different One Piece clubs that came to me to prepare me. Y'all are the sweetest. I think we all know that. One Piece has such this fantastically kind fan base. You guys are amazing. They are, yes. And they came to me and said, you really need to read this. I was like, I don't know. Read it. Okay. And then I'm glad that I did it. So I love that. You look out for us when you can.
Our Nakama. I've read up to where they get Brook, and that's when I stopped reading. But it does kind of help when you're reading it to get into the head of the character a little bit. But then I really wanted to be surprised, and I found out that was more of an advantage, so I just stopped reading it.
Alrighty, well thank you for your question. Yeah, all right. Give it a round of applause.
What's up, everybody? At the start of your voiceover careers, what was the hardest challenge you all had, and how did you get through it?
Paying the bills.
The hardest challenge of voiceover?
When you first started your career.
I don't know, making sure that the acting transition worked on a microphone without the use of my body, face, and all the other elements that I rely on when I'm doing something on stage or on camera.
Exactly.
I think there is a certain amount of artistry to it, and it is like there's acting, and then like there's this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing, and you must adjust each time you go to a thing. Because like being on stage and doing on stage acting for on camera, you're gonna look like a huge psychopath. Like there's just things you have to switch back and forth to make the adjustment for where this seems real or this seems appropriate. And making sure that the voice aspect of it was real and appropriate, or real for whatever it is that I was doing. If it was something fantastical, it was something that would exist in that world, that it stuck the landing and resonated.
Sometimes, I think you can snow job the director by your facial expressions, like you were saying. And I think having a window there sometimes is a disadvantage when they can see me perform, because I acted out fully.
Yeah.
I
can see that you're feeling it, and I know emotionally you are. It's not translating through just the voice, so we need to work on that.
Mine was developing a healthy relationship with the audition process, because the hardest thing is just letting go of it and not taking it personally when you don't get the role, because 9 times out of 10 you won't. And it's really, we all do it. You beat yourself up. I'm not good. I'm not an actor. And it has nothing to do with that. It can be amazing and just still not who they're looking for. And just getting to that point where you just go in, audition, and forget about it, and never ever think about it again. That's one of the healthiest things I learned how to do, which took a few years. And yeah.
I always tell my students, Monica Rial is like my favorite actor. And I directed for probably 10 years total. And I've turned her down in auditions because I just didn't think it was right for this role. And you are not better than Monica Rial. So just take that when you go into an audition. You don't get cast. It doesn't mean you sucked. You might, but it doesn't mean that necessarily. It just means it's not what he's looking for.
I think we're assuming you know exactly what you are, or where you will fit. Let your directors figure that out. And to that note of auditioning, and if it's not yours, that's okay. Not meant to be. Something else will come your way. But trust the people that know what they're doing. And it's just a ride.
I had to learn how to have fun auditioning again, because after a while, like if you're living in LA or wherever you are, you got bills to pay, and then you have to rely on that, or you get a job, right? So the pressure is there, right? And it becomes, audition becomes the job, but then you have to, step back and have a macro lens about it and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna audition 25 times this week, and odds are I'm probably not gonna get them, so why am I stressing out so hard? Finding the fun again is great, because you also, in that process, learn what you're good at, and learn what your genre you excel in, what your wheelhouse is, because the casting directors, when they do cast you, will tell you that. It's like, oh, this is what I think you do best, this is what I think you do really well, and then you can learn, okay, I'm probably not gonna book, you get 16 characters in a JRPG or whatever, and it's like, I'm not gonna book, the teenage, youthful protagonist or anything like that, so I'm not gonna bother doing that. But if you have fun doing that, if you wanna try it, I'll audition for the villain, and I'll really, really commit to that. But then, we'll do a fun one, right? We'll have fun doing this guy, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I got to stretch my range. I had fun. I was in there for 20 minutes. I wasn't like woodshedding in 3 hours trying to get this right. But it was finding the fun again and making sure that I enjoyed my job.
Yeah, give that a round of applause, everybody. Thank you. Question?
Do you guys have any One Piece conspiracy theories?
Check. Conspiracy theory. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. I do have a fun theory on how the show ends. But so, I recently, one of my friends posted that like a piece of bread was on the table, like we found the One Piece. And I was like, it wasn't the main entree, it was the bread that we ate along the way. Yeah. No, based on absolute nothing except my own level of chaos in my mind, the end of One Piece, they get a map, and it's like old school Treasure Island kind of stuff, where they have a map that's got a little dotted line and an X, and they find that particular island, and they dig where the X is, and there's just a legit old school treasure chest there, and they pull it up, and there's a lock on it, and they crack the lock open, and flip it open, and at the bottom of it is a red button, and Luffy goes, "What does this do?" and pushes it, and then the show starts over. And then episode 1 just starts playing, but in the top right-hand corner, you just have Luffy like, like laughing, and that just stays there and never stops.
That's genius.
The troll ending.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your question. Give her a round of applause, everybody.
Who would you want to see appear in the live-action adaptation, and which character would they play? I personally want to see Jamie Lee Curtis as Dr. Correa.
Yeah! I think Jamie would like that too. I haven't put a lot of thought into that because the casting that they've done thus far, I only know some of those actors, but also everyone's great, and they capture like how fun One Piece is really well. So I don't necessarily want to throw out anything. I love the Jamie Lee Curtis thing because I think the world's like, we all want that, please just let that happen. But outside of that, I just want to see who they come up with, because it could be like, you have who for what? And then I see him on screen like, that's amazing! They're great!
I told Jacob, the live action Usopp, I said, at first, I didn't like you because I thought you were too cool for Usopp. And then you got scared, and I went, this kid's a genius.
I forget the actor's name, but he plays Reacher in the television series. I'd love to see him play Eneru, but maybe just because I want to see him shirtless. That counts.
I don't know about Nico, but I would sure love for Brooke to be, CG, and then Ian Sinclair voice him.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for your question. Another round of applause.
Hello guys, I'm Gary, nice to meet you. So I actually have a question about voice acting and directing. What would be some good jobs that you guys might recommend? Because we moved to Texas last year, because we heard this is the great place to do voice acting and directing and audio engineering, and Crunchyroll is amazing. So we were just wondering, like, what would be some jobs that you guys feel like help you with your
Entry-level position for an actor is generally waiter. Actor waiter, get a job waiting tables.
The thing is like, there's not really, like you were saying, entry level is a waiter. There's like, acting anywhere you can is your entry level. Like, if you're cast in a local play, if you and your siblings would have put on a sock puppet production of Treasure Island, that's acting. It's whatever. And as far as directing goes, it's the person directing the sock puppet theater at Treasure Island. Beyond that, there's places to train for anything. You can train to be an engineer, you can train to direct, you can train to act, you can do improv, which is really good for doing this type of acting where you have to do cold reads and characters all the time. Voice diction is another thing you can do. As far as this particular area, yes, there is a lot of stuff that happens here, along with the voice acting community that we have. It's one of the top places in the nation for commercial work. It's one of the top 5, I believe. It used to be top 3, but everyone keeps growing. But top 5 for like a lot of commercial work. The only thing we don't do here a lot is movies and films. Those are just like when someone decides to set up shop here. But there's many, many opportunities. Texas Film Commission has a website, and they list a bunch of stuff of what needs are, like someone's coming to town and we need all these people to be background, or we're going to be reading for a film, for voice acting stuff. There's Dee Bradley Baker's website that's just straight up iwanttobeavoiceactor.com that lists a lot of resources and training and equipment to have at home and all this sorts of stuff. You have moved to a place where it happens. There's just not like a ladder to climb that I can think of to tell you where rung 1 is.
Everyone gets in differently.
Yeah.
Everyone I talk to has a different story about how they got into this industry.
The metaphor I often use when people ask me this question is like, if you're going down like a path in the forest, right? You can follow me as far as you get, but maybe a crevice opens up, maybe a flagstone's removed, maybe it gets overgrown, and then you have to start making a new path, right? There's a fork in the road. You can't follow what I did forever, right? You can't do exactly what I did. But you're still in the same area, you're still doing the same thing, and you're still moving forward. So, I mean, I used to read, like, me and my buddies used to get together in a Skype call for like 16 plus hours, reading Danganronpa out loud, picking characters like it's a script, right? That's how I learned how to voice act. I learned how to act by studying theater, but I learned how to voice act by just having fun with my friends. So
I think you also kind of have to be the type of person who would do this for free. I mean, I was acting on stage for 14 years before I got on Dragon Ball Z, and had I never got on Dragon Ball Z, I'd still be acting for free on stage.
As a point of etiquette, I want to add to that. Don't try to get into the industry by taking an internship that has nothing to do with what you're aiming at. Like, if you want to be a voice actor at Crunchy, don't intern as marketing. They hate that. You're also taking the internship away from someone who wants to get into marketing. So be honest about your intentions when you do have a shot, and don't ever try to take the back way. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, or at least not for long.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. You're all amazing.
Round of applause, everybody.
Much luck to you.
Hello, my name is DJ. Nice to meet y'all. So I just want to say thank y'all, because I've gone up to a few of y'all before for like signings and stuff like that, and asked y'all for advice about voice acting and different things like that. Because just like you, I'm a huge nerd about One Piece and want to get into it and all the different things. Because they're having the whole reanimation of One Piece on Netflix. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see if I can make that my goal and get into that. That'd be tight. But a bunch of people already asked you a question about voice acting, so I'm not going to do that. I'll do more of like a silly little question, just like, I guess kind of related to voice acting. So like, let's say, how have you improved from like the beginning of your One Piece journey to now? Like, for example, Robin. Like, how has Robin, you as a voice actor, improved from Whiskey Peak to current story?
You know what? One of the things I'm so thankful for is that Oda's a genius.
Yeah.
And this show's been going on for such a long time because he's a genius.
Right.
And these characters are all the characters are so interesting.
Yeah.
And with Robin, I could gush forever, but I won't. But just the fact that her arc, going from stoic Robin that showed very little emotion and just asserted herself on the boat, I'm here. And then after that, I went to Live Moment. And then I remember when she started giggling. And I thought, what's happening? And then she tells a joke to Brooke and Wano. Like, what? But to see her grow, to blossom, if you will, but to grow and just become a whole person because she has found her friend, her chosen family, and her friends, and learning to love herself. And her growth has been incredible. And it's such an honor to voice a character that gets to go through that. I'm not kidding when I just have such respect for her. But, and as an actor, you go with it.
Yeah.
And when it's so well written and so well done, it's not so hard to grow with it. It's just part of who you are when you've been voicing these people, right, for so long. And they're part of us and in our life. And I know we'll miss them someday. But, yeah, for me, that was just exciting to see her smile.
Yeah, the longevity is very important on this, as far as growing with these characters, because after about 5 years, it becomes very natural, you know? But after 17 years, you don't know where you end and the character begins half the time, right?
Good. You wonder, am I just the biggest nerd in the world? But I think we do that.
All right,
All right,
well,
cool, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, all right.
Alright, I did. Oh, my glasses so I can see you. Look. There we go. So, this question is actually for Patrick because you're in a really unique position when you came onto One Piece because everyone knows about the Alabasta movie and at the beginning, but you came on during the We Game Unlimited Adventure, and then y'all just also that was like a long time before y'all got back to that. And you were cast pretty early, and then y'all had the whole debacle from Skypiea GA to the Foxy arc, because there was like that production halt for like where y'all couldn't do it for like a year for some reason. And then I just wanted to ask you, like, because since you mainly play like assholes like Ragna and stuff, so like, how was it like trying to like get back into that after only like playing it once, and then you just had to like come back into it?
I really tried not to jinx myself, because, you know, I went for the Wii game, and the Wii game was like maybe 4 hours of work or 6 hours of work one day, and that was it. Like, it was a one-day thing, and that was it. I remember going to Mike, I'm like, hey Mike, it's time for Franky the dub. He's like, it's gonna be a sec, bud. I'm like, okay, cool. A couple months later, I'm like, hey Mike, is it time yet? He's like, not yet, bud. This went back and forth a couple times, and I started realizing, like, oh, it's gonna be a sec. I started getting the idea of, like, the One Piece, sort of the enormity of the show, the timeline of the show was, but in my mind, like, I'd go to cons and people would be like, do the super thing. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it, I don't want to jinx it, because what if when they finally get to it, it's not me? Like, I was taking nothing for granted, because it can't as an actor. I mean, the more time that passes, the more time that, you know, the powers that be have to think about their decision, be like, oh, okay, you were here for the game, but now we're doing it for realsies and want to go with somebody else. So, when he finally came up with the show, I was like, do I still get to be Franky? He was like, yeah, but I'm like, yeah. So, but it was, I mean, it was tense. I assumed it wasn't me until it was me, because that was just the safest thing for my brain and my heart to not, I mean, that's just in general, not to take it for granted, especially with that, yeah. So when it finally got to him in the show, and I felt really thankful for the game too, because I just happened to be, I was down there recording on One Piece. I voiced Kurobi before Franky showed up. So I was literally down there, and Mike's like, hey, I got the copy for these characters. They're showing up in the game. Do you want to read on? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. He's like, if you get it, you have to come right back, like immediately back. And so I read on it, went home, and we got a call from you that I got in Franky, and like flew right back the next day to work on the game. So it was just dumb luck and serendipity, and I'm just really thankful, because so often they're like, hey, be the big guy, be the mean guy, be the evil guy, be the guy with giant fangs that you can roar. And especially back then, like, no one was letting me be funny. So to be funny and be frank and just, oh, God, I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, a round of applause. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. I think we have like 3 minutes left, so you got the last one.
Hi, I'm Sophie. It's nice to meet you. My question was, which arc was your favorite in terms of voicing your characters?
Katakuri's only in one arc. It's so far. The whole king, I guess, yeah. I do like a lot of arc though. So.
My favorite arc of acting in is Impel Down. And my favorite arc as a director was Water 7 and Enigmatic.
My favorite story arc was Water 7 for acting. I mean, Usopp has a lot to do in Water 7. And I knew like about 5 years before we got to sing the Sniper King song. And I'm like, when do I get to sing that song? It was so fun.
Also, I mean, Ennie's Love You Water 7. Boy, Wano was great, but for the heart, yeah.
Thank you for watching Anime Diet. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button for more tasty treats.